Hey everyone, so I still don't have a job. I'm still job hunting. I am still sending out applications for work. Still nothing. Not even one interview since I was laid off last year. It's over a year ago now. So you can't tell me this is not being coordinated. It is. It is being coordinated. And Canada's reputation on the world stage is horrendous. People are laughing at us because we've got food banks, because we forced vaccines over COVID, because our healthcare system is failing. You have to wait at least 3 months before you can get a doctor. And they don't even, like, once your doctor's practice closes, you have to pay. I had to pay for my medical records. I can't remember the amount, but I think it was close to $100 by the time I added in everything. I had to pay for those medical records, I had to download them, and then they didn't send it to my new doctor, so then I had to send it to him so that he could have a complete history of my medical records. It's becoming like Africa here. It's becoming exactly like Africa. And they're not telling us, don't worry. Like, don't worry, we are putting the infrastructure in place. We're going to help people. We're going to make sure you have electricity, you have water. They're not telling us that. What they're telling us is collect bottled water at home. Make sure you store water. Make sure you store canned foods and non-perishables for at least 3 months. Make sure you have an emergency kit at home, because when the supply chains break down, we may not have the essentials in the stores. We may not have medications. And we went through it already. We went through it. We didn't have Tylenol on the shelves here in Canada. I mean, it's horrendous. And the older you get, the more skills you have, the more experience you have, your credentials are up to date. I still can't get even one job. Not even one. Canada's reputation with the UN is in a dismal state because they told Justin Trudeau not to implement MAID. It wasn't just coming from me. It wasn't just coming from the church. It was coming from all the world leaders at the UN not to implement MAID. He still did it. And he didn't put safeguards in. He didn't put safeguards in place. So what happens when somebody like me is forced to go and get a psychiatric assessment? I said no. I told the police I don't want to do it. And they said to me, if you don't do it, we're going to have to come and get you. So basically, I had no rights. I was treated like a child that couldn't make my own decisions around my medical health, around my jobs, around what was good. And I did good in this country. That's how good people get treated in Canada. When you do good for Canada, you get treated like me. That's how you get treated. Because I did good at all the companies I worked at. I did good in the church. I did good with the Jesuits. I did good everywhere I went. And this is how you get treated. People that do bad, they get all the support in Canada. They get second chances and third chances. They get promoted. They get opportunities to rise up to the VP level and get jobs paying $100,000 a year. People like me who sit on the boards for free, who help at St. Stephen's Chapel, who help at Blessed Sacrament, who help at St. Basil's, who help at Newman Center, who help refugees coming in, who promote equality and justice and bring about good so that people are not hurting and starving and children are not going into slavery in the UK and here. Those are the people that get treated badly in Canada and in England. What is England doing now? They're implementing a system where you can only come if you have money. If you have money, you can come to England. If you don't have money, you can't come. Do you think people want to go there? They implemented a free trade agreement with India and then they brought this policy in. Does it make sense? So they don't want skilled people. They don't want people who have knowledge. They don't want people who are good. They don't want people who are kind. They don't want people who are compassionate. They don't want people who can make things better. They only want people who have money. And they've doubled the amount of time that you have to stay before you can get your papers in the UK. It's cruelty. It's the cruelty of what they're doing. The policies and the systems that they are putting in place in Canada, in England, around the world are communist policies. They're putting in a policy in England where only up to 2 children will get any support from the government. We didn't get any support when we were in Zimbabwe. There was nothing in place to help with food, to help with security. There was nothing. There was no even temporary relief. And now I told Teleperformance, Service Canada can't find my record of employment. They can't establish the claim. No one's doing anything. No one. This is how good people get treated in Canada, like me. We get left to sit at home, we get left to be isolated. If I didn't have the church to go to, I would be completely alone, completely isolated, because I wouldn't have anywhere to go to see other people, to socialize, to be in community with others. It's exactly the opposite of what the Jesuits, what the church, what good people like me want. It's exactly the opposite. And now, because there's been droughts in the areas of Canada that produce our food, we're going to have food shortages, because the tariffs that have been brought in by the US are going to put food prices up. I already gave you an example of how a small tray of food from one day to the next increased by $1, by a whole $1. So they don't care that I'm sitting at home without a job. They don't care that it was all about KPIs. You didn't meet your KPIs. Look at your KPIs. Look at your score. But they didn't look at how I treated the customers on the call. They didn't look at my decorum. They didn't look at how my customers like me. None of that. And as soon as it's this thing, you got a detractor, they ignore all the rest of it. It's just like, well, this is a new opportunity. And what about all the good I did in the company before that? What about all the support I gave to Jean de Gagne and Teresa Bowman and Michelle Parody and Michael Stein and all these big shots that I worked with? You mean to tell me none of them can make a call and help me get into an executive assistant job? You mean to tell me that all those people at Teleperformance who know how well I did don't know anybody that can help me get a job? This is being coordinated, and it's not right. It's not right. I don't like sitting at home, and believe you me, and my aunt told me in Prospect, she said, this is not going to end well for you, because they wanted it that way. They didn't want me to study. They didn't want me to go work on the camp. They didn't want me to own my place. They were not interested in helping me to achieve those things. I had to push for it. And I'm not a bad person. I'm actually a nice person. I don't know why my sister doesn't like me. I don't know why she doesn't want to come and visit me. I didn't do anything to her. I didn't do anything to my brother-in-law or their children. In fact, I was good to them. I helped them. I looked after the children when I stayed with them. When they told me to move out, I moved out. I didn't create any problems for anybody, including in the church. And yet look at how my life is going. If I could afford that fee, to pay that fee to go and immigrate to England, I would pay it and I would go. I can't even save a penny on what I'm earning. Not even a penny. This has been going on since childhood, and I don't deserve it. I've done good in this country. The same way I did good in South Africa, the same way I did good in England. It was the same thing in England. When I asked Father Peter, in South Africa, I asked him, can I stay at Trinity House because I come from a poor family. I need this year. Graham Fusion used to allow the students to stay one extra year if there was a special consideration. Peter said no. He said, Belinda, you've been here, you've had your time. I want you to move out and I want new students coming in. Nobody has given me any special consideration or love. Nobody. No one. And it's time that things changed. Because the first principle of the Jesuit teaching is that you have to love yourself. And people are treating me very, very badly for doing good and for looking after my family, for looking out for my brother, for going home for his 21st. People are treating me badly. Why? It's awful. I'm glad Teleperformance got fined millions, and I hope they get fined millions more, and I hope the Canadian branch also gets exposed for what they're doing. Because I had it out with my supervisor, with the operations supervisor, Golfo. I told her, this is not right what you people are doing. You should keep me on the books until you find something else for me. She said, no, I'm taking it to HR. I told HR. They did the same thing. I told him, if Muhammad was here, he would keep me on the books because I'm a good worker, I'm valuable, I have skills and knowledge, I made things better. They said no. And the HR manager told me, if we can't find something else for you, we're going to let you go with no severance. I said to her, that's not right, because I've been a loyal employee of your company. If you separate the employment agreement, you should pay me a severance. She said no. So they do whatever they want, and they don't care. If your life gets ruined and your family gets ruined, they don't care. It's not right. I did good in Canada.